The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside. We are in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. It is a Thursday morning, which means Threadbare Thursday. It's all the things that you want talked about and answer your questions live here on the air. And, let's...
sorry for the delay. YouTube just kept looking at me like, I know what you're trying to do. I'm just not going to do it.
Just not going to do it. Not gonna do it. All right.
Before we get into this, I have to. I can't say fuck on the ESPN show. Have you heard this story about James Madison?
The school?
No, the president that's been dead for 240 years. Right? Yes, the school. So JMU apparently wants to enter the Sun Belt.
Okay.
Well, the conference has told them that they will not be allowed to compete in any conference tournaments or for any titles or in any playoffs if they announce that.
Why?
Vindictive? I don't know. The Colonial Athletic Association will not allow them to compete in anything if they announce this move to the Sun Belt.
That's strange.
I don't know how that's even vaguely legal, but why am I not surprised in the NCAA?
I guess it depends on the charter of the conference. If the charter on the conference says you do something, I don't know what's the word to belittle the conference or something like that, then they have they reserve the right to be able to put you on suspension or whatever.
No clue.
When would they want to move?
It would be 2 years.
So 2023.
Yep.
And if they announce now that they're moving to the Sun Belt,
they won't be allowed.
The CAA will not allow them to do anything.
Nope.
I mean, they can still participate in regular season play, but just not postseason play.
Yeah, that's the way it appears. Yes. I hate college athletic. You know what?
But here's the thing:
just get out of the way. Just stop being a thing.
But it's not the NCAA; it's the conference.
No, but you embolden them to do it. They have to know that they can get away with this, or they wouldn't have ever said it. And it's stupid. Stupid.
Well, here's the thing: the conference kind of controls everything.
Yeah, they do.
And if the conference says you can't play for us, then I guess you can't play for us. I don't understand the tack here. Like what are you doing?
Well, you're trying to hijack them into not leaving. I mean, I can explain that.
Right, but that's not going to happen. Like James Madison.
If they can't compete in anything for 3 years, it might.
I feel like James Madison is a program. They're going to be one of those that jumps up to FBS.
Oh, that's what they're trying to do.
Right. They want to jump up to FBS. And the ability for them to make money in an FBS conference is always going to be better than being in an FCS conference.
Well, nobody's disputing why they want to do this.
Right.
The problem is that if the CAA wants to hijack them, they'll prevent them from doing it. You can't go 2 years without any revenue. You will sink, especially as an FCS school.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things that NCAA, you need to jump in here.
Right.
It's your turn. I know you sit on the sidelines with your prick in your hand, but it's time for you to come on. All right. We've been trying to allow people to slowly filter in because we got a lot of stuff to unpack today.
Yeah.
I think we came up with a name for our YouTube fan group.
And it's one of the most obvious things that we thought, why did we not think of this sooner? But Jeremy looked at me this morning. He said, why is the fan group not going to be called Team Gets Mine?
We didn't think of that. We want to hear your opinions on it. And it would change the badges to this. I mean, we're going to have to keep talking.
Right.
It'll take me a second to get this pulled up.
All right. Change the badges from the cool little beer mugs that we have right now to, something that reflects Team Gets Mine. If you'll remember, the card-carrying captain of Team Gets Mine, that's one of Jeremy's favorite sayings. He doesn't normally use it other than, outside of basketball season because it doesn't really translate to the NFL. Right. So, anyhow, the little beer mugs, and I'm seeing a lot of them in the comments, and we can't thank you guys enough for that support. But, it would change it.
It would change it to this. And it would be just like the C on NFL jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Doop, doop, and doop.
There. Oh, with the little stars on the bottom as well.
With little stars underneath and all that.
Okay. All right.
Patrick Holt, I figured out how to do this. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but we are relaunching Patreon and all those things. If you've been in on the Patreon, we have things for you. Merchandise, I have learned, is the hardest thing on the planet Earth, and we finally found somebody that can acquiesce everything we need, because we don't want cheap shit. That's been the biggest problems. We don't want cheap shit. And I've gotten samples from multiple places, and it's all cheap shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
So the ones that have been in, we have things for you. We have back-ordered things for you. We've been trying to fix this. This is just not our wheelhouse.
Right.
And this is one of those that Google e-commerce. See what you find.
Yeah.
Because you know what you find? A bunch of people that are paid by these people to tell you that, oh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm. Like, I remember the first T-shirt push that we did way back in July of last year, and we got those Because baseball T-shirts.
Yeah.
I got one, and I threw it in the washing machine, followed all the directions on it. It came out, there was nothing on it. There was like little specks of just where the logo had been, and nobody wants that. So, I'm not going to charge. We're not going to charge you $20 for a T-shirt that's going to last you one use.
So Patrick Holt said, waiting on hats and shirts. Pat Holt is the one founding father that we've had on Patreon.
Yep.
So Tank and I have discussed this of how can we make Patrick Holt right. Because he's been a great supporter of us. So I came up with the idea. I'm paying for your trip to Vegas.
Hell yeah.
That's how that's how we're going to make that right. The draft next year, Pat Holt has been with us. Pat Holt has contributed, and I'm not saying he's better
the
than anybody.
Only one.
He's
yeah,
not the only one. It's just he's the one founding father that we have been racking our brains how to get him right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we're going to do it. We're paying for his trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
The other guys in the tiers, I'm assuming all of you guys will be in Vegas too, and we have something else for you. So there are a lot of levels to this. We've just been trying to rack our brains, and it's not. Look, we're not completely, without blame here, because we launched something before we thought we had found a group, and oh shit, oh fuck, what do we do now? So it was our fault for launching it before we knew 100% what we were doing.
Right.
But yes, we're going to pay for Patrick Holt's trip to Vegas with us for the draft. And the other guys that are in that have done the Patreon, we have things for you too. We haven't 100% hammered down how we're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, without saying this, I'll come out and say this. We make some money. We're not rolling in money by any stretch.
Right.
But Pat Holt has literally been here. He has been anything we've done, he has gone above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had to find some way to make him right. So we are paying for his trip to Vegas with us.
Yep.
And the other guys on Patreon, we have wonderful things for you too. We can't quite announce them yet. We have learned our lesson of saying shit before we fully know what it is. But we have wonderfully cool things for you too.
Listen, I hope that Tuesday was a lesson for all of you, that when we promise you something, we're going to make it right. Tuesday with the torture ticket payoff, I saw so many people say, "Why would you do that to yourself?" Because it was the best way to make it good for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's my goal. My goal is to be here to support all of you, to give you guys what you want. You're here to support us. I'm going to go big to make it happen. Look, struggles have happened. It's been a weird year and a half. We've been trying to get on our feet. We've been trying to make sure that, we're always on the air with you guys. As far as the merchandise stuff goes, just know that we're working on it.
Yeah.
We're trying to get all of this stuff nailed down, and we're going to. We're going to pay it off.
This is one thing that I'm telling you right now, you cannot trust what people say. Because, this is a little behind the curtain, but the way affiliate deals work is that if people use your promo codes and shit, they pay you. So you read these e-commerce reviews, you don't know until you go all the way through it. And so we do the legwork, we do the homework, and then we get the stuff, and we're like, this is bullshit. And then we wash it one time and it comes apart at the seams and it turns to dust like Thanos snapped his fingers. So it's a long process. We have now found it's a little more expensive. Our margins are not as good. We don't care. That's not what we're doing. The goal of all these things is not for us to become infinitely wealthy.
Right.
The goal is to take our time and put it to providing things for you guys. Because for the last 6 months specifically, we haven't been able to do that. Well, now that we're at iHeart, we can do that because we're here and, we can, if we work a 12-hour day, we don't spend an hour and a half of it driving or other bullshit.
Right.
Armchair said he has an affiliate program for shades. He does, and they're actually really cool.
Oh, for sunglasses?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Armchair, if you'll send me the link to that, I'll put that in the description. Armchair, another one that's, and I hope that what we said about Holt, that we're not underselling the Kevin Vick, Jonathan Welch, Michael Whiteside, Armchair. There are a litany of you. Wicked Weed is picking up the tab. So we're doing the Vegas trip. We're so excited about this. We wanted to do something that's all of it. The Wicked Weed guys will be with us. We just met with them on Monday. So we will have 2 members of Wicked Weed with us in Vegas. They are paying for 2 other people to come to Vegas with us. And Pat Holt, we're paying that out of pocket. We just don't have, we don't have endless coffers to do that. And we have wonderful things for everybody else. We're just, and it's not we're trying to slight you. We just can't announce it yet because we haven't verified it.
Yep.
So we have lots of stuff. We just hope. The one thing that we have that's been racking us for a while is we hope that nobody feels like that this is a money racket because we've been banging our heads against the wall. At about a 7 times a day rate for about 6 months.
Right.
Well, I finally went down the rabbit hole, and it actually started with Patreon. Trying to figure out how to integrate YouTube with Patreon. There's no way to do that because they fucking hate each other. How can we make that right? Well, then we're going to have to pay for it for you with your email address, and we're going to do all of those things.
Yep.
So.
And again, when I see comments like Kevin Vick saying, we've been here from day one and we've seen the growth and we're all here on the ride with you, we know. And we're so thankful for the support that we have had.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to make sure that all of those of you that have been with us, through this, that we're all going to be in Vegas one way or the other.
Yeah,
I don't care if I have to go. I don't care if I have to enlist a JetBlue card and just put it on all. I
can't wait.
Fuck.
I can't wait. I've never been to Vegas before, and I can't wait.
This is
so great.
My wife is a financial advisor, and this is the first time I've ever had credit in my life. So I'm trying to not typhoon it again. This is the first time my credit score hasn't started with what would have been a nice GPA.
Yep. All right, let's get into the Threadbare Thursday feed here. We've got a couple of questions that have already been asked in the comments. Obviously, anything you want answered, just throw it out there, and we will get to it. Armchair. I've got an extra category as well that you requested a couple of days ago that we will get to, talking about barbecue and coaches and NFL and all of that. So we'll talk about that.
Brain on that question, by the way. If you have weird shit like that, please send it to us.
We love
because there is a question that we're going to answer later. I thought about this while I was asleep last night. And I think I have the right answer.
Okay. All right. Anyway, Armchair has already asked this morning a fantasy starter sit question. Damien Harris or Jonathan Taylor? I'm all the way in on Jonathan Taylor. Going up against the New York Jets tonight, I think that is something that... the
question I'm saying is Damien Harris or Josh Jacobs? It's way up there.
Yeah, it's at the top. Okay. It was early in the feed. Damien Harris or Jonathan Taylor? I'm on Jonathan Taylor.
My wife said, P.S. I won't let you guys fail. We know.
No, we know.
Trust me, anything that has to do with money, she's the one that keeps us from being stupid because we're actually 2 great big 8-year-olds.
Nobody's surprised by that.
The combination of this, the fact that we all have a particular set of skills, is the only reason this works. And we all have them.
Right.
One of us goes away, the whole thing dies.
So Jonathan Taylor tonight against the New York Jets.
You can't not start Jonathan Taylor.
Exactly. The Jets have, they have their moments. The defensive line looked really great last week.
Somehow the defensive line is good.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: they've got new added wrinkles now. C.J. Mosley came back last week, and Jaron Davis made his first start of the season last week.
Jarrod Davis.
Okay, excuse me, Jarrod Davis.
Jaron Davis was a forward for Stanford about 9 years ago.
All right, so Jared Davis making his first start last week. The defense looked really good last week.
They did,
and
but they still gave up a ton of points.
Right, but they're going to be able to limit some of those big plays by Jonathan Taylor, but I don't know that they're going to completely be able to shut him down. To me, it is a no doubt Jonathan Taylor week.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: the Jets' defense has been fine. Mm-hmm. They're still middle of the road against the run. Mm-hmm. So Jonathan Taylor's a no doubt start. The question that I saw would be Damien Harris or Josh Jacobs. Oh, it's so hard for me to trust Josh Jacobs. That dude gets hurt crawling out of bed in the morning.
It is hard to trust him, but I think with all of the things going on with the Raiders and, losing their number one wide receiver, I think you've got to hit the Giants this week with that double running back scheme.
Yeah, and
Josh
I think you're going to see more Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go Josh Jacobs. God, it's close. I don't love Damien Harris this week, so I would go.
I don't ever like the idea of relying on a guy against a front like the Carolina Panthers have. Damien Harris, is he going to be able to do his damage this week? Maybe. Will he get into the end zone? Yeah, probably. But if I had to make a projection for him, I think it'd be 74 yards and a touchdown against the Panthers. Josh Jacobs, he's been known to pop for big old biggins here and there.
Yeah, for me it's Josh Jacobs. Mm-hmm. I am really curious to see what this Raiders offense looks like with Henry Ruggs and all the things. By the way, did you happen to see David Carr's the
Derek?
No. I said who I meant.
Okay.
David Carr tweeted out about his brother Derek that if he finds a way to get this team to the playoffs, he should be the MVP.
Okay.
And blue check marks lost their shit about, oh, that's so insensitive. You do realize he's a football commentator, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, what the fuck do you want us to say? I don't. This is one of those things that really irks me. That things like this happen, and we as people that talk about football are asked to talk about anything but football. Why? Why would you care what David Carr has to say about a car wreck? Mm-hmm. He's a football commentator.
Right.
That's why you give a rat's ass what he says about anything. And then he apologizes like, oh, it was insensitive. It wasn't insensitive. You're doing your damn job.
Yeah, I can see it on both sides, though.
See, I can't. What do you want us to say? So we're just not allowed to talk about football?
They don't want you to talk about anything.
Well, tough shit. That's
talking about season awards in the immediate wake of the tragedy that happened in Las Vegas.
But see, nobody cares what we think about that.
I get it, but it seems crass. It seems crass to some people to immediately go out and start talking about football again.
Because that's your job.
I get it.
What are we supposed to do? You want us to wax poetic about how you shouldn't drive 156 miles an hour? Hey, look, right there. Don't drive 156 miles an hour. Okay, can we talk about football now? Mm-hmm. Because, I have plenty of opinions. You deserve everything you're going to get, Henry Ruggs. There you go.
Yep.
You did this to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Now we're football people. Let's talk about football.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. I agree with David. I really do agree with David. If Derek Carr is able to take his team to the playoffs this year, he should definitely be in consideration for MVP.
Agree.
Now you can come after me, too, if you want to.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You can come after me because we own the company. We are way harder to fire than you think.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of what blue check marks like to say about me on Twitter. I'm going to start my own Twitter. I'm going to call it, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Stephen Tao says he has a question. How do people never remember their PIN codes and passwords?
Ask somebody that got pretty high up in Verizon. I've asked that question for a long time. How do you not just use the same freaking one?
If anybody knew my passwords and PIN codes that wanted to do damage to me, they could destroy me because I'm one of those.
Well, here's the thing: Tank and I have a very basic philosophy. If you don't have anything to destroy, no one will want to destroy you. Literally, until I met Amy, somebody could have stolen my identity, and I think they would have owed the government money. Mm-hmm. Like, my credit was so bad that I think that you would have tried to have used my identity, and they'd have gone, mm-mm.
No,
And then if they saw a little skinny person, they'd go,
oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
You're much smaller, Mr. Greene, than we thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
Alex S. asked in the comments, is George Kittle for Deontay Johnson fair? Yes. And I like that equivalently on both sides. Deontay Johnson's a back-end wide receiver 1 for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. He's so good. And Chase Claypool and Ben just don't gel for whatever reason. Yeah. I don't know why. But they don't. And I like George Kittle going forward. I actually like both sides of that deal. I don't even care which side you're on. I think it's if you've got receiver depth to spare and you're getting George Kittle, perfect. If you've got an extra tight end and you can spare Kittle for Deontay Johnson, perfect.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, self-serving here. Self-serving question, fantasy question. So I got this message just before the show started here. I have Pat Freiermuth, and somebody's asking me in a Dynasty League, what do I want for him? What should I ask for?
A lot. A whole lot.
A whole lot?
A whole lot. Put it this way. If you have Pat Freiermuth in a Dynasty League, you should treat his name like George Kittle.
Really?
What do I want for Pat Freiermuth? Everything. That'd be my answer. You don't want to know what. I mean, it's a lot. And here's why. Name 3 young tight ends in the NFL that you like. And I'm talking first, second, third year. Which, that eliminates DJ Hawkinson.
Right. That's a good point.
There you go. How many do you like in the next draft? There's one, and he may or may not be in my first mock draft, which will be live tomorrow.
What, the guy from Iowa State?
That's Charlie Kohler. I like him too, but not as. There's another one that I like more. And he is the shit that nightmares are made of.
Who is it?
Okay. Mock
you're
draft
just not going to say it?
Okay.
You're just not going to tell us who it is?
Okay. Tomorrow.
And you can still leave some mystery as to where he goes in the draft.
It's Jalen Watermeyer from
thank you.
Texas A&M.
All right.
He is a monster and scares me, and he hides under my bed and terrifies me at nighttime because he is a big dude. Alex Sanders said, "Do you think Von Miller's going to have going into my Rams is going to have the same impact J.J. Watt has done for the Cardinals, or will it be better?" The Von Miller thing is interesting to me. Because you didn't give up anything tangible right now to get him. Here's where I struggle. And this is at least, you tell me I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. It's totally up to you. Mm-hmm. I look at the Rams in that base 3-4. You had Leonard Floyd. You had Terrell Lewis and a slew of other guys that I like. Mm-hmm. You didn't have somebody like Von Miller. I think he's going to be a situational player to the highest extreme. I think he's a 30-snap-a-game guy. And that's exactly what he should be. Mm-hmm. Because on pass rush downs, you can't double-team anybody. Oh, cool, you're going to double-team Von Miller? Sweet, that leaves Aaron Donald one-on-one on the inside. Oh, you're going to double-team Aaron Donald? That leaves Von Miller one-on-one on the outside. Oh, and by the way, I still got Leonard Floyd on the other side. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the pass rush is going to be intense. I think he can be the greatest situational pass rusher you've ever seen. If you ask him to play 60 downs a game, 60 snaps a game, it's not going to go well. He needs to be situational. This is a guy that's had a slew of injury problems lately.
I like the move, and I think it just makes them terrifying. And, it doesn't make sense for him to play every down. I agree with you. But I think that ability to have him come in, especially on third downs, is just going to be phenomenal for them. I think it could be a J.J. Watt-esque type move. Problem is, I felt like JJ had a whole lot of, that vet leadership thing for a young defense. LA doesn't need that. LA has Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. They don't need that guy.
Oh, we have to say this for Armchair, just solely because this is hockey news, and it's a guy who he knows definitively that I know.
Oh, Jack Eichel.
Eichel has been traded to the Vegas Knights for 2 dudes I have never heard of and 2 draft picks that I will never know who they were. And they're going to let him have the surgery he wants.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes. Chuck G asked, is George Karlaftis in your mock draft? Yeah. Mel Kiper ain't the only one that's high on him. I'll just tell you one way that I love to scout. And by the way, I love getting draft questions more than anything. I'll answer fantasy football. I'll answer anything. You ask me draft questions, you'll see me get like this little wispy, just weep smile on my face because I fucking love the draft. George Karlaftis is one of those guys that there's not another draftable player on that defense. Not nary a one of them. And he is still just absolutely eating dudes' lunch boxes. I mean, he's taking the sandwich. He's eating right through the fucking middle of it, throwing the fucking, the what's the outside of it? The crust, throwing that at you, eating the tater chips, taking the note from your mommy and wiping his ass with it. Doesn't matter. He's the only guy on the defense you're kind of scared of. Yes, I love George Karlaftis. I'm trying to answer the questions as they come along.
Right.
Kelvin Joyner asked, do the Rams have any picks left? Yeah, about 1 billion of them, but they're all late. They've done such a good job drafting late that it just doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And I shouldn't say that. It's not that it doesn't matter. You're going to see other teams try to do this, and it's going to crash and burn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to be very, very confident in your scouting department to be able to just go, anything between rounds 1 and 4, that's not necessary. We don't need it. We can leverage those assets into something bigger. That's all LA's been doing. Leveraging those into guys that can help us right now. And we'll go get those depth pieces late in the draft. But you have to have a scouting department that you believe in. You have to have a GM that, unlike what's his ass up in Philadelphia, is actually going to listen to and not make his own picks. It takes a good organization to be able to have that confidence to say, you know what, we don't need first, second, third round picks.
Yeah, here's the this is the watermark you have to pass. Has your team come up with any player in the 6th round the level of Sebastian Joseph Day in the last 5 years? If the answer is no, don't start trading day 1 and day 2 picks. Most scouting departments are not good enough to do that. The Rams are. Mm-hmm. It's the reason it works. It's the reason they're so good. Mm-hmm. And, by the way, it's the reason they're willing to do it. Because they flat out know it does not freaking matter. Sebastian Joseph Day would be a first-round pick if we went and redid the 2018 draft. They got him in the 6th round. He's a down-in, down-out starter. Mm-hmm. If you can't do that, then, tough shit. You're going to have to sit this one out.
Yeah. Has a squirrel been burrowing in your beard? Like, you've got this little... oh,
yeah, it does that.
This little split thing
I'm not going to lie. I didn't sleep worth a shit. And, when I don't get to...
I think you need the Captain Lou Albano. That's what you need. You need to tie it all together so it forms that way. Sleep with it tied up, and it won't do that little split.
I'll do that. Just, give me a little rubber band. Give me a rubber band.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Chuck G said that's...
that made it worse somehow.
Yeah. Got little beard curtains. Chuck G said that's why I like coming here. Before the weekend, I'd never heard of Karlaftis. Purdue doesn't get a lot of play around here, so I trust your opinion on these guys. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for that. Karlaftis is a guy that I had heard of coming into this year. I saw it very early and went, that dude has been in the weight room. He is doing something, and he's doing it quite well. There are a lot of guys that you're going to hear in the mock draft that's coming up tomorrow that you may have never heard of. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to put out a mock draft every week, pretty much from now until the draft. I'm going to try to highlight a player per 10 picks every time we do it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully a guy that you've never heard of. Like this week, it's going to be DeMarvin Leal because that's the dude that I want to meet him in person, and I want to hug him and I want us to be best friends and do karate in the garage, and I want him to be a Jet so bad I can't stand it. So, but there will be like 3 of those a week. New guys, and then once we get to the point that we've done all the ones that are consistently in the first round, we'll start doing more, and we'll isolate those and put those out, and that's going to build the website. Not just a hat rack.
Good for you. See, work smarter, not harder.
We had to learn that the hard way, because there were a lot of times that we would just come in here and go, hey, what's the stupidest way we could possibly do something? Let's do it that way.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to overstress when you have only 2 guys working.
Patrick Holt asked about Slaw. We're going to get to that. There is a topic that we're going to talk about at the end of this, and we'll get back to that Slaw question. I'm not ignoring it. It just ties into something else.
Right.
Any chance Devin Leary from NC State's drafted if he enters the draft? Yes, but it would be late.
It'd be like a 6th round pick.
No, I don't know if it'd be that late.
Pick.
I don't know if it'd be that. Quarterback's just bad. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'd be honest with you. Last year, I didn't see a snowball's chance in Atlanta that Ian Book even got drafted, and somehow the Saints went 3rd round. Let's go.
Yeah.
By the way, Saints, you're a team that should not be trading draft picks because you don't do draft stuff well.
All right. Let's see. Any other questions here before we get into the talk?
There's a ton. I'm just having to go back through. I'll answer the first one I saw. Does Kyler start?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know.
Look, Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray are both, and maybe they're throwing smoke out there to put people off of the scent. But they say he's good. He's going to be good to go.
He won't be 100%.
It's going to be a game time decision.
I'll go ahead and tell you, that's going to be my favorite game of the week to bet.
Kyler was in a boot after the game. He hasn't practiced at all this week, and Kingsbury was out there yesterday saying he's at the point in his career where he doesn't need to practice. Obviously everybody needs to practice at some point, but if you have a week where the guy hasn't taken a day off all year long, which they said about Kyler, he needs that time to rest. And it's not going to disrupt things too much if he doesn't practice this week. I don't see a whole lot of chance that he doesn't play this week.
Evan Doyle asked, is this a draft day episode? As long as I'm in the building, every episode can be a draft episode.
Every day is a draft day episode.
He also asked over-under on Ruggs jail time. So here's the thing about this. We haven't really talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain states that you should not do things. Alcohol crimes in Vegas, that's a place you don't want to do that because they will absolutely pin you to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see a way Henry Ruggs doesn't do at least 5 years. He cannot do probation. He has to do jail time if he's convicted, and he will be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he can plea, and I don't think he can plead out to this for anything less than 42 months probably. My best friend in the world's a cop, so I can ask these questions and just be like, yeah, give me a range.
Yeah.
Here, you would have a slightly better chance. There, you have virtually no shot.
The fact that he's never been in trouble with the law before is obviously always going to help. The problem is he made so many bad decisions at one time that there's no way. Like the judge yesterday was talking in court about how this is the most egregious DUI case he's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He's never seen somebody driving 156 miles an hour through a residential neighborhood, not too far from the Vegas Strip. They are, I'm not saying they're going to make an example out of him and all that, but yeah, they kind of will.
My wife just said that, and I agree with her.
What?
They will make an example out of him.
I would imagine so.
The thing about Vegas is you don't see a whole lot of high-profile cases come out of Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is one of those places that debauchery just pours out of the walls.
Mm-hmm.
So they know how to handle this shit. They have one of the best police departments in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So when things come out, when things like this happen, they're going to make an example of you're not going to come to Las Vegas and do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Secret time, that was the number one fear of the NFL. moving a team to Vegas. It's the reason it didn't happen for so long. Everybody made it about gambling. No, it's never about gambling. They started embracing gambling 10 years ago. And the NFL got on the gambling thing way before everybody else did. Not that they would embrace it enough for them to be sponsors and things like that. They had just embraced it to such a point. Behind the scenes, that wasn't it.
Right.
The problem was Sin City. We're going to put these guys out there. They're going to do stupid things. And the DA's department out there don't fuck around.
No.
They do not play around.
No, and it's going to be a bad look too. I think he's probably the first guy that has had a serious criminal problem since the team moved to Vegas. And I think that kind of plays into it as well, of make an example, make sure that these guys know that, yeah, you can come to Vegas and this is the western, the western part of America's playground and all of that, but you're going to pay if you come out here. I'd put the line on that at 4.5 years. I would say I'd probably go over, honestly. I would say it's probably going to be more than that. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I don't know what this has anything to do with that now that I've said that.
Oh, okay.
It has absolutely nothing to do with that.
I thought you had some new news or something.
No. It's I don't know why I said speaking of that, because this does not have jack shit to do with that.
Okay.
We have the first. So basically, with what we opened the show with, we're relaunching all of our shops and all of the things to give you the best value of these. This is the first shirt that we have done. You knew I was going to find some way to get this into the show today.
Sure. Yeah. I should have known.
Doopity. It's like an old. My wife swears no one will know what that is, and I swear she's wrong. It's an old GOP campaign shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I love that so much, and I should because I made it.
Because you made it.
Because I made it. I should love it. And if
I like the back better than anything.
Well, I was trying.
You're trying to get the back up there?
Trying to get there.
Yeah.
So it's more button clicks. Boop. There it is. That's on the back. And that kind of looks like one of those old, what was that, Salty Dog Cafe? I don't know why that reminds me of that, but it does.
Yeah, I could see that.
Sorry, I had to get that in there.
Mm-hmm.
I just did. Those will be available. Kevin Vick said that's the old Reagan Bush campaign shirt. As did Michael Whiteside. 100%. You're exactly right.
They all used it. I mean, that was the McCain Palin shirt. It was, the Bush shirt.
So Armchair said, I like that you gave Tank the VP spot. Well, here's the thing. We own a company called Greene Spencer Media.
Alphabetical. I always get screwed.
That's it. It had nothing to do with anything. Because it actually would make more sense if it was the other way, because it would be easier to stack those things. But, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have, and then Spicer Greene gets involved, and they're like, "Oh, you're trying to play on our name." And it's not good. It works better this way.
Evan Doyle said that needs a roaring eagle in the background. I don't disagree with you. He also said, "Is Thibodeau still the universal number one, or has someone taken his spot?" Quarterbacks have dropped like wildfire. I'm really glad somebody said this. There are 5 quarterbacks in my first mock draft. There just are. Because the drop from those 5, actually, that's a lie. I think there's 4. I think the 5th one slid in the second round.
We were talking about this a little bit this morning, because I made the statement that I can't believe how many people have come off of Sam Howell.
I ain't one of them.
There are so many, draft experts and such that are doing their mock drafts, and Sam Howell he's dropped as far as the second round for some of these guys that do the prognostications, and I don't even kind of understand it.
Oh, I can explain it to you. I do this every freaking year, and I have to say, I'm glad you said that way. Here's how this goes. There are a lot of draft analysts. They don't do a lot of legwork during the year. They stat chase, because you can't watch every game. Here's the thing. I'm a little differently able with Sam Howell, A, because he endorses us, B, because we work for an affiliate of the school he works for, or that he plays for. Sam Howell is going to drop in dumb mock drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I have talked to multiple people in scouting in the NFL that work for teams. You know who hasn't dropped him? Them.
Yeah. And they shouldn't, because if you actually look at his stats this year, it's more incredible what he's doing this year as opposed to last year. Think of all the things that they lost at Carolina. 2,000-yard running backs between Michael Carter and Javonte Williams. They lost De'Ami Brown and Daz Newsome. I think I'm forgetting somebody there, but forgive me. They lost pretty much all of their big weapons.
Mm-hmm. Top 2 receivers and top 2 running backs.
And guess what? His stats aren't off from last year.
But stats don't – it's not the stats. That's not the thing. The arm talent is still there. All of the things that people like me liked are still there. Here's what gets him. It's what gets him in the public narrative. People keep comparing him to Baker Mayfield. He is Baker Mayfield on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Not literal steroids. You know what I'm trying to say there. Just being attached to Baker hurts him to some people because you start seeing what you want to. Mm-hmm. Because that's how a lot of draft analysts do this. What does this guy remind me of? It's the reason that I absolutely hate comps. Because none of these guys are just like who you're going to compare them to, and it's disingenuous. And it irritates me. Now, but to answer the original question, Kayvon Thibodeau is still my one. He's my number 1 overall player. I do not see a snowball's chance in hell that he actually goes 1.
Mm-hmm.
A quarterback is going to go 1. It's just a question of who. And for me, Sam Howell is clearly my number 1 quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he goes 1? No, I don't.
You don't think he goes number 1 overall?
No, I don't.
You think it's going to be Matt Corral?
I think that's the one. That's the one that makes sense. But there are a few others. It's not going to be Malik Willis. Malik Willis is going to be beauty in the eye of the beholder. Somebody's going to see it and go, ooh, we can turn him into Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't. Is he mobile? Yes. Does he have an arm like Lamar? No. Does he have a rope? Yeah. And it might hit at the 10-yard line. It might hit in the 10th row. It might hit in the visitor's locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Parton asked, off topic, but do you think your Liberty Darlings will cover against Ole Miss? That is one of the hardest games for me to pick because I don't believe as much in Ole Miss as everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe more in Liberty, and the number is aggressive. It's a double-digit number. It was 10.5, I think, the last time I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Oxford. Ole Miss is as pissed off at Hugh Freeze as Hugh Freeze is at Ole Miss. I'm leaning to taking Ole Miss, but it's real close. I deep dive on Thursday, so I'll have betting picks tomorrow. We are also doing a last call both days.
Would it help you if I tell you which way I'm leaning on that game?
You're leaning Liberty, aren't you?
No.
No, you're leaning Ole Miss?
I'm leaning Ole Miss.
Oh, it's 2. Damn it. Damn you.
Now I screwed it up for you. No, I was leaning Ole Miss on that one. I don't know. To me, it just feels like Ole Miss is they're in the position where they felt like the year was going to be a little bit better, and I get that they're 6-2. Lane Kiffin takes a lot of shots.
Liberty
and he's
is not
going to
as good
do
as
it
people
against
think
Liberty,
they are.
right? He's going to take his shots against Liberty, and I could very well see them getting out to a big lead and kind of cruising. Backdoor cover, that's the biggest danger in this game for me.
It's 9.5 now. I'll take Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
At 9.5, I will certainly take Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Armchair asked me who is the number 1 guard in this class. I love you people so much.
Guard.
I love you people so much when you ask me questions like that. It's Kenyon Greene, and it's not even vaguely close. He's a kid from Texas A&M is one of those teams you look at and go, hey, you want to know why we talk about quarterbacks all the time? Look at how many high-end drafted players Texas A&M has and realize they're not very good.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because they don't have a quarterback. But yeah, Kenyon Greene is the number one guard with a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll go at the back end of the first round. There may not be another guard. Zion Johnson's he's 2, and I don't think I have him going until the 3rd round. You also got Jake Matthews' little brother, just for, posterity's sake. Luke. Another Matthews in the NFL. Who's shocked?
Interesting.
He's not nearly as good as the others.
All right. Are we ready to jump into the big question of the day?
The question of the
big
day.
question that everybody wants to know the answer to.
Or at least one person did, and you will. We have a feeling when we say it.
No, it came from Armchair Commentary, and he asked for Threadbare Thursday for us to talk about what coach in the NFL would host the best barbecue. And he said, why would it be Dan Campbell? And
Dan Campbell was
certainly
one. He's certainly one that I considered. Mm-hmm. I think, Dan Campbell probably, he's certainly in the top handful.
Yes. My answer is obviously going to be Andy Reid. I feel like if anybody knows how to put on a barbecue and knows how to, I mean, come on. Andy Reid is that guy that invites you over to the barbecue, and when you get there, it's beyond anything you ever expected. You walk in, and he's built his own pit in the backyard. He's got all of these tips and tricks on how he's been doing barbecue for 40 years. He's even got that little apron on that says "Kiss the Cook." That's Andy Reid.
See, and I don't dispute any of those things. But I think you got the wrong coach. See,
Okay.
Andy Reid strikes me as a guy that he's been affluent for so long that now he caters the barbecue. He finds a Holt Brothers barbecue, and that's which, by the way, fantastic barbecue.
Right.
And they bring it in, and it's catered, and he goes, "Ooh, I worked all day in the kitchen," and that's Andy Reid. Mm-hmm. My answer, same rationale that you had, but it's Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians with that old man hat, he strikes me as somebody that goes, I inject the meat with a very diluted bleach, barbecue sauce, brown sugar combination that breaks down the membranes, and then he just does that for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then you eat it and go, God, I wanted this to suck, but it doesn't.
Oh, no risk it, no biscuit?
And the biscuits?
He's even got that on his apron, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, but his says no brisket, no biscuit.
No, good for you.
Look at that.
No risk it, no brisket. Don't risk it with the brisket.
Mike McCarthy also falls into that for me.
Okay.
They're both ones that I like. Arthur Smith probably has some weird combination of things that he puts in his. Mm-hmm. Like, I season it with mustard and the feathers of a peacock. It breaks down the membranes.
Kevin Vick says he's going with McVay because his wife will be by the pool. I mean, that's not a bad way to go. But I mean, you know me, when I go to a barbecue, I'm in it for the meat. Like, you got to put on a good spread. I need to see something. There are lots of coaches that would be great partiers. I mean, if you're going to a party,
Sean McVay.
No.
Sean McVay. If you're hanging out with anybody in Vegas, it's Sean McVay, no doubt.
No.
Smoke show, Victoria's Secret girlfriend. Done. I win.
No. See, I'm going to the party, and there's going to be a lot of beers. The food's going to be okay. But for the most part, we're here to get hammered. And I'm either going Dan Campbell's house or to Mike Vrabel's house. Mike Vrabel would be a guy that's he's got 7 coolers full of Natty Lights, and we're just going to get wasted.
Mike Vrabel was the other one I considered for best barbecue.
Right.
Because Mike Vrabel is one that I look at and go, you strike me as somebody that, like, cooks a whole cow and you shove a fucking case of Amstel Lights in its ass and it seasons the meat from the inside out.
Right.
And then you drink the beers because you're just that kind of woodsman-y guy.
Yeah. Sean McVay, like going to Sean McVay's house or Cliff Kingsbury, Matt LaFleur. I feel like those are star parties. Those are catered parties. Oh, that's not where the host is cooking.
Oh, no. I'm talking about night in Vegas. Who do I want with me? It's Sean McVay. And it's not really all that close.
Just because you know he pulls ace? I mean, what?
That ain't hurting anything. Look, I got news for you. If Sean McVay's with you, gravy's getting spilled on everybody's taters. Because that dude is a closer.
I don't think I want Sean McVay's gravy, thank you.
See, why you got to go there?
I had to go there.
Why you got to be weird?
Sorry. Sorry.
By the way, the ultimate answer to this, and it's my answer to this, he's not a current NFL coach, so he didn't really qualify for that. But I think he is so clearly the right answer that I'm still answering it this way anyway. It's Rex Ryan. There is no doubt Rex Ryan is the quintessential, no doubt, best barbecue, and he'll bring in his brother that looks like the Big Lebowski, and you'll just eat 47 beers, and weird feet things will be happening in the house, and just everybody's getting it,
That would be the thing that would get me. Like, there's a chance that later there's going to be some kind of after-hours swinging session that he wants everybody to come to. And it's going to be like, no.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I really don't want to be the one to be the bearer of bad tidings. But if that was the case, I feel like they would tell you the party ended an hour earlier.
Oh, probably.
Like, no. No.
Yeah, you look like somebody who would want his feet sucked by Rex Ryan.
No. Look, don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answers to. You fucked that up
with Rex Ryan. Like
that's where you fucked that up.
Ooh,
That's
disgusting.
Hey, aggressive times call for aggressive measures.
No.
I had somebody tell me in a tweet one time that I have the face of a person that I don't ever want to know what runs through your head at any given time. And that, for some reason, has just resonated with me for a long time. You look like a guy where what the shit that goes on in your head would make me want to burn my eyes out with bleach. You're not wrong.
Yeah, no, I think the a number one answer to the best barbecue hosted by a coach, if you're going for the food, it's going to be Andy Reid's house. And if you're going for the party,
Andy Reid's the layup answer.
It's going to be Mike Vrabel. You think it would be disappointing?
I do. I think it'd be disappointing. Like he uses mustard barbecue sauce or something like that.
There's nothing wrong with mustard barbecue sauce.
Mustard, great. Barbecue sauce, great. Together, out.
Have you ever had it?
No, I just guessed. Do I look like somebody that hasn't eaten every kind of barbecue there is known to man?
Just asking the question because I've never met anybody who's had it that went, oh, that's gross.
Yeah, it's just not my thing.
It's typically one of those things that you reserve, that people reserve for, I've never had it because it sounds gross.
No, and that's not it. I'm one of those people, I want barbecue sauce to be kind of hot. Like there's a barbecue place here in Asheville that it has a new owner now and shit like that. But they had a hot barbecue sauce. It's the only reason I went to the place. I didn't think there was a huge difference between their barbecue and other places. They had spicy, hot barbecue sauce, and that's my jammy jams.
By the way, if we're going other coaches, like outside the NFL, it's Ed Orgeron.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got a...
Because he's like all of them wrapped into one.
I got a Creole seasoning.
Because there's going to be hot women by the pool. There's going to be great food. He probably puts spice in everything.
Oh, yeah. You got that jambalaya. Go Tigers.
Right, that's it. He's not just going to have brisket. He's going to have all of the other foods as well.
But I'll also say that Ed Orgeron strikes me as a guy that would have, like, weird food at his barbecue. Like... You got to try the fried cat paws. They're delicious.
And try anything once.
Yeah, got gator tail over there. Got a cardboard seasoning to it. Delicious.
Just if anybody ever says chitlins, run. Just run, leave.
I like chitlins. So, yeah, call me picky again.
That's gross.
I like all kinds of weird shit.
That's super
alligator,
gross.
Shark.
Yeah.
Brett Bielema, that's another one. Or Brett Bielema, that's another one we haven't said. By the way, did Brett Bielema eat somebody? I noticed this when they played Penn State. He was never a fleet of foot feller anyway. That motherfucker is gigantic. Like, he is Mark Mangino big. You remember Mark Mangino?
No.
He was the head coach at Kansas. He was literally as wide as he was tall. Ooh, let me see if I can find a picture. He kind of looked like you.
I remember Eric Mangini. I don't remember Mark Mangino.
Mark Mangino was the best coach in Kansas history.
Are you thinking of Charlie Weiss?
No.
He was bigger than Charlie Weiss?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, Mark Mangino was, he's without a doubt the best head coach in Kansas history.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. He looks more and more like you the more I'm looking at him. Doop. I can't believe you don't remember him. He was the one that got Kansas to the Orange Bowl. And then he got fired because he yelled at everyone. And he was kind of a dick.
I can't remember a time when Kansas football was good.
This wasn't that long ago. This has been like since I graduated high school. I think it's 08 for some reason is the number in my head. But yeah, Kansas played in the Orange Bowl. They were like 11-1. Go!
Yeah, I've just erased that completely from my memory.
It's entirely possible.
Because Charlie Weiss went there and made it so bad.
There he is. There's old Mark Mangino. God, the picture of him is so big that it's slowing my computer down.
Mm-hmm.
God, he is a big old biggin. Good Lord have mercy.
Good God. Kelvin Joyner, Alex Sanner. You guys, wow. I don't see how you do it.
Hold on, I want to do a comparison.
Chitlins was the one thing that I was like, yeah, I'm down for anything. And then, blah.
Chitlins are good. You stop. I want to do a comparison here.
Y'all are the same people that like breasts on chicken, right?
Chicken breasts are fantastic.
You're crazy.
Chicken breasts are fantastic.
Absolutely
and if they're dry,
crazy.
You're doing it wrong. Yep, there's Go! Yep, there's Mark Mangino.
Oh, biggin. God, he looks like a cartoon villain.
Yeah, he kind of does. Yeah, he does.
Oh, he looks like the big guy from Despicable Me, the second one. I know you didn't see it because, your kids didn't make you watch it.
You are just a little girl. Yeah, Mark Mangino.
Or maybe it was the Minions movie. I don't remember. There was a guy that looked exactly like that.
Chicken livers. That's one I can't do. Oh, by the way, Mike White said Chitlins are Tank's next torture ticket. I'm not against that. I'm not against that at all.
Mm-hmm.
We will have that for you tomorrow on the ESPN Radio show.
That sucks.
What? Well, that sucks a lot.
Sucks.
That sucks a lot.
Yeah.
Alexander, Sean Rogers. If you don't remember Sean Rogers, he was about Mark Mangino size, but he played D-tackle for the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
He was a gigantic human.
Gigantic human. Also, there was a second level to the barbecue question was NFL teams ranked by their state's barbecue.
Oh, it's Carolina Panthers 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, and 10. We'll dust Kansas City in there every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to Tennessee Titans, aren't you?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I was thinking about it.
You shouldn't. Carolina barbecue all the way.
I mean, if that team was in Memphis, yeah, they'd be number one.
They're not. I wouldn't care if they were. Memphis, you know what? Tennessee should be ranked up there. We'll slide the Tennessee Titans in at 9. Still leaving the Panthers at 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10.
And then you're going Kansas City, Houston. What after that?
Houston's not even.
Georgia.
Houston does beef. Get out of here. Go on. I like pork. I'm big on the pig.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I don't hate beef barbecue. It's just nah. Pulled pork all the way. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Western or Eastern barbecue?
See, this is where my answer starts to really bother people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm okay with either one.
Yeah.
I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Holt asked earlier, red slaw or white slaw. Depends on what you're doing with it. White slaw goes on the sandwich. If you're using it as a side, then it's red slaw. But I don't need the double barbecue of the red on the sandwich because I am going to absolutely slather that motherfucker with sauce. Like when I squish a pulled pork sandwich, you rest assured there is going to be a whole side helping of sauce on the plate. And then when I get to the end, I'm going to have the best bite humanly possible with the pickles and the slaw and the delicious, and I'm going to dunk it in my overflow on the plate. And then I'll probably eat my fries with it.
Western is the best. Eastern is really, really damn good. And then, South Carolina comes in a distant third.
I'll tell you another weird.
That's the mustard sauce, by the way.
Weird thing about me, I don't like vinegar by itself. Like the sheer thought of vinegar makes my skin crawl.
Mm-hmm.
But I love vinegar-based barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I also love it on sandwiches. But vinegar is supposed to get rid of heartburn. I have unbelievable heartburn 98% of the time. I will not drink a thimble of that shit.
Yeah. Vinegar on the fries.
Gross.
Yeah.
I'd literally
that
rather
vinegar barbecue sauce on fries? Yes.
Now that I can get down with. It's still a barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you meant just vinegar. The only thing I'll put just vinegar on is a sandwich.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I put just vinegar on anything if I'm not cleaning it.
Okay, I got to ask this simply because this has delved into a. By the way, somebody pointed this out.
Mm-hmm.
We are a 75% sports show, and we delve into about 20% food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that.
Agreed.
I'm totally fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
I like food.
Who doesn't?
Some people.
Vegans.
Yeah.
And they don't belong here anyway.
Corey Short with his cardboard sandwich.
Exactly.
They're like, I have a vegan sandwich. It's made of beans, and it has some kimchi on it.
Right.
It's delicious.
But so in preparation for this though, I pulled up a ranking. This might be one of the dumbest rankings I've ever seen for barbecue.
Oh, hold on. Before you do that.
Yeah.
Do you put sugar in your coleslaw, yes or no? Asking that to the chat.
The ranking for barbecue is stupid. So it's got Kansas City 1. You can't,
Oh, I can disagree with that.
I mean, sure, you can disagree with it, but you'd be wrong. Chicago was number 2.
That's stupid.
That's stupid. Houston 3. Okay. Cincinnati known for their barbecue?
Yeah, by the way,
I thought they were known for mixing up chili and spaghetti.
Charlotte's 5 on this, aren't they?
No.
Oh, are they? They're in the top 10.
No.
Oh, then this is not. Matt Mitchell did one of these. It was like, this is stupid.
Mm-hmm. Cincinnati was 4. Memphis was 5, which is fucking retarded. Louisville. Sorry, I apologize. I shouldn't use that word.
For like the 8th time.
That's
How
twice.
is it somehow that
That's twice in a week.
It's twice in a week. It's like the 8th time you've done it since we've been doing this.
Louisville, St. Louis, New York City,
Dumb.
Minneapolis,
Dumb.
and Washington, D.C. That's top 10.
Here's the list. North Carolina
Dumb.
is one whole state. It'll be a city in and of itself. Memphis 2, Kansas City 3. Yep, now I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yep, those 3. That's all.
Those 3, that's all you care. Raleigh was 20th
That's stupid.
on the list.
That's stupid.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Atlanta's got to be in there somewhere.
Georgia does have good barbecue.
Georgia's got a lot of good barbecue joints. Just saying. Anyway, I think you got to go.
Let's ask Mark Mangino. All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Give
me all of it.
It's got to be Kansas City, Tennessee, Carolina Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons, Houston Texans. I think that's the top 5.
Okay. I mean, if you just because they're the last one left.
Mm-hmm.
Texas barbecue. It's stupid.
It's stupid.
There's so many good things to do with beef.
Right. Anyhow, I think that's going to wrap up Threadbare Thursday for us here. I don't see any other questions in the comments, barbecue or otherwise.
All right, so I have a question for the comments. Do we want to switch officially the name of the group to Team Gets Mine? Because if we do, I'm going to have to redo the badges and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
The colors will stay the same. You'll have the C with the stars, and then it will, grow from there. So I just need some yay, nay, just a little direction.
Right.
We will also have more shirt designs out, hopefully by the end of the day. Barbecue or crawfish? I am Seacrest out on crawfish.
Not at all. You don't like crawfish at all.
No. No.
Okay, that's going on a torture ticket. Then.
Oh God, I'd rather eat the case.
And you're gonna have to suck the heads too. That's part of the torture
that's
ticket.
The grossest part. Pat Holt, I will message you after the show. We got to figure out how to get the Patreon people in. There's a go around, but there's only one way to do it. Apparently, Patreon and YouTube had a falling out, so that's one of the reasons that we started doing YouTube stuff too. But we'll have a lot more things.
Yep.
Oh yeah, crawfish bet for me. I should have kept that to myself.
Chitlins versus crawfish. I feel like this is how it needs to go down.
Oh God, crawfish is gross. It's so gross. Oh God.
All right, be sure to tune in this afternoon, 3 o'clock, right back here on YouTube and, of course, on ESPN Asheville. On the radio side, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 on the terrestrial signal. We'll have all of it for you. We'll have all the latest news and views in the NFL coming up this afternoon. We'll be prepping for tomorrow's mock draft. That will be tomorrow's morning show.
So Jason Trump asked I'm really glad he asked this question because I've been asked this a couple times.
Okay.
For new people, do you sign up on Patreon or YouTube? YouTube will be aside from Patreon, so you can 100% do both. We're getting ready to change all the tier levels for Patreon. You'll be getting things. We always intended on shirts and things like that. Well, now we found a way that we don't ever have to control them. We have a phenomenal person that makes shirts for us here. Shipping them one at a time becomes cost prohibitive for us. When you use a drop shipper that actually does quality shit, that's not as big a problem. So YouTube, don't let Patreon keep you away from YouTube. The tier here, that ain't going anywhere. And they don't talk to each other. We just have to fix the ones that are already on Patreon. Because they've been doing the support. We're not going to ask you to pay for something else when you've been paying for other things for so long. So if that affects you, feel free to message me, and we will try to sort through it. I'm going to use Patrick Holt as the guinea pig on that.
Okay.
Is there a way to do this without having to move 80 billion things around?
Mm-hmm. We'll see you this afternoon on the radio side. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Share us out with your friends as well. We love to grow the community as much as possible here in the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We'll see you next time.